Hi Floppycatters! Today we're doing the final product review video for the LALAHOME RealFountain Daily Fresh Pet Fountain. It is a modular design, very easy to assemble. It has two 5-liter water buckets, a 6-liter water tank, an independent pet fountain bowl, a body machine, and a cat grass planter, or you can also put any hydroponic plant in that planter. It has a 10-liter capacity, which allows you to skip refilling your pet fountain really frequently. It features a 5-layer super filtration. It has oxygen-enriched water. Obviously has the extra large capacity of the 10 liters, so you're not refilling it all the time. It's made of BPA-free materials. It obtained compliance with the safety standards set by the European Union and the FDA in the US, and it has also passed United States FCC testing. I am so excited to finally be doing this review. This is the longest review I have ever done. We were sent a prototype of the RealFountain before the crowdfunding campaign that they were running started. And we ended up having some water leakage issues with that one where it overflowed in parts where it shouldn't have. And I reached out to the manufacturer, explained to them what was happening, and they said, we know why this is happening. You were sent the wrong fountain. Let's send you the one that the backers of the crowdfunding campaign are going to get. And I said, okay, but just a heads up, my review process is going to start all over again from scratch. And they were fine with that, which was huge. And so the fountain that you see in our unboxing video is a bit different than the one in the review video because I have had 2 of these fountains. And so the second one I have had for almost 2 months now, and it has been phenomenal. Now, as a homeowner with a cat that is using this on a regular basis, I've loved this thing. It's made my life super simple, super easy. Now, if I look at it from Charlie's perspective, he has a water bowl upstairs. He spends the majority of his days upstairs, but he will make the trek downstairs to drink out of this fountain. He much prefers it over the water bowl. So I've had a great experience with Charlie using it. He's very attracted to it and wants to drink from it, which is huge when you have a kidney cat. This is a product that we have reviewed and will end up keeping because it is something that Charlie really enjoys, and I think it's very easy to take care of and clean, and I do think it's absolutely critical to clean your fountains. A lot of people don't do that with fountains, and it's really, really important. My experience with LALAHOME as a company has been excellent. How attentive and how caring and how much they cared about my experience with it and what I was finding and whatever. And also the fact that they sent me another fountain because they realized the first one had been, the wrong prototype sent. That was huge to me as well. They've been super responsive. 16 years into doing product reviews, it's really important that a company is responsive to me because I think that shows that they'll be responsive to anybody that's buying their product. So this has been a very good experience for me, and that's why I'm so excited to finally be bringing it to you. It is cleaning day for our LALAHOME fountain. I usually try to coordinate this with the water tanks being empty, and the first step is to unplug it. I take out the waste tank, as you can see here, and then I also disconnect this removable piece. I stack both of these and bring them outside. Once I have dumped everything outside, you can obviously dump it down your sink too. I just like to make the most use out of the water that I can. You're gonna take all of this apart. This lifts straight up. Once you remove that, sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle. You can feel like when it's ready to clean, there's almost like this biofilm feel on everything. So this is the filter that you'll replace once a month. And then these filters are also replaced once a month. But for now, you can just go ahead and clean them. You just rinse them under water. This part, I usually just sponge it, like with my dish sponge and rinse it out. While the rest of that is air drying, I go in and start cleaning off Charlie's fur and water splatter that's on this unit, which cannot be submerged in water. So it's just better to wipe it off with kind of like a damp cloth and clean it that way. I also will clean the floor around it because water droplets obviously attract various things like hair and stuff like that. I like to clean all around it as well. I'll take the tanks out because there is a filter at the bottom of the tanks and that needs to be cleaned and rinsed out like the other filters that I pulled out. And then you literally reassemble. So you stuff the sponge back in, goes back right in there. Perfect. This goes here, and then you put this back on top, and the Real Pura filter, Real Pura. And last but not least, goes on top, which is Charlie's favorite thing to drink from. Once everything is clean, then you put them, start putting it back together. And then I just need the tanks. Remember on the tanks, you need to put the filter and the filter cap together, and then you're just going to secure it down inside the tank. And the filter really fits in there like a glove, so it's easier to put that all back together. Here's the first tank. And keep in mind, don't plug it in until the water's in there. I made that mistake. I mean, nothing really happened other than it's just making a sound like it's trying to pull water and it can't, so you don't want to overwork the motor. You can wash these if you want. I do probably like once a month because they don't really touch anything, but depending on your cleanliness, you might want to do that more often. And now we plug in. You can immediately hear it filling up. You'll see it collect water down here first, and you'll see that it's pulling from this left tank because this left tank is slowly emptying. And then the water is coming in down there. And then once it's all full, then it will spit out that spout that Charlie likes to drink out of. And it's all clean, folks. Now this water on average has been lasting us about 10 days. So I clean it once a week. I try to do it on Sundays. And then I use 4 1-liter bottles of spring water on either side. So 8 total for the fountain, and it lasts 10 days, like I said. You can change the settings on the app for it to go through the water more quickly or less frequently as well. That seems to be working well for us. You'll see there that it has a minimum and maximum. Kind of hard to see what, there we go. That shows up here on the side. So this is the maximum height and that's the minimum height for the water to run. And it's fully working now. You can see that it's pulled more from that tank in order to fill the fountain below. That's my favorite part. When it shoots up the fountain spout. And Charlie's actually waiting to go outside, but he just heard it all and was like, what is that? In addition to cleaning this once a week, and it's ready because it's empty and it's time to do it, you also want to change the filters once a month, and the app will tell you when to do that so you don't have to remember or mark it on your calendar. Also, when I change out the filters, I'm also gonna flip this upside down and show you the bottom of where you can also clean. One of the filters you're gonna wanna replace after a month is this one. Let me show you a comparison. This is from when I first started using this. I didn't get a new filter for probably 4 weeks, or sorry, for 2 months. So this one is, it might've been 3 months, 2 to 3 months here, 1 month here, and brand new here. So you see the importance of changing out the filters there because this one just gets like caked up with minerals. The other filters to replace are this one and this little guy. So just pull those out. So in addition to the drainage sponge, the pump filtering sponge, and the Real Pura filter, we've got the bucket filtering sponges that we need to replace. So those are just located in the bottom of these tanks, and you pull out the top and they're right there. And this is the other part that you want to clean once a month. You'll see that it says push. Usually takes me 2 hands to push it off. On the bottom of this is a cleaner brush. This is where you are going to clean the pumps. So these are the 2 pumps. One is the oxygens pump and one is the fountain pump. And these can be difficult to pull out, but you're gonna pinch in and pull back. And then eventually it will slide out. It has this little suction rim around it, is why it's a little bit difficult. There's gonna be a little bit of water. And then you're gonna pull this guy out. And the first time I did this, it was pretty gross, but I hadn't done it in the first month. So this actually isn't that bad, but you're just gonna take the brush and clean around in there. I know that this stuff can be a little bit like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I want a fountain that I have to do all this to, but it's really not that bad. And if you think about it, it's not like having running water. I mean, that's what we're trying to mimic, but it's not coming from the faucet. So we have to make sure that it's clean for our pets. Once you have it all clean and wiped down, you just pop this little guy back in, and then you orientate. And sometimes you need to like pinch in a little bit to get it oriented back in, because it's just a tight fit, and then you just pop it back in and you'll hear it click on either side so that you know it's securely in there. And you can also push back a little bit to make sure that it's in there. Here's the other pump. Let's see if it's any grosser. Huh, no, that's great. Now I would say that this one had like that biofilm stuff on it that was kind of gross. So make sure that you use the cleaning brush to get all of that biofilm off. And again, same concept. You're gonna push it in, hear both clicks, and then it's ready to go. Now, I tend to leave this to dry out for about an hour just because I don't know. It does have those air filter holes there, but I don't know if I want this like wet brush to be moldy or anything on the bottom, so I just let it air out for about an hour. I also totally love that it has this little storage section right there so that you don't have to keep track of it or put it somewhere and then wonder where you put it. It's all self-contained inside this little area, which is super. Now this is not recommended by the manufacturer, but I found because I use spring water to fill my fountain, we end up having a lot of mineral deposits in it, kind of like hard water stains. So I use a splash, and I mean a splash, of distilled white vinegar to get off some of that residue. And I do the same for this. I just take the waste tank and soak everything upside down so that all the mineral deposits and stuff will come off. It is phenomenal, and especially for these little plastic pieces, which are hard for me to get off the mineral deposits, including this little guy. Our first fountain had one of these that was just pure white because I couldn't get it off and I didn't want to try anything, and then I decided to try it and thought, oh my gosh, this is a miracle worker. So that's why I soak them. Every time I clean them, I soak them for about an hour in just a splash of white vinegar and warm water. You'll notice there are some Wi-Fi symbols on the fountain, and that's because it comes with the LALAHOME Smart Tech app, which allows you to control the RealFountain remotely. You can choose oxygenation levels, initiate drainage, activate the UVC light, which is called sterilization. You can customize cleaning schedules anytime, anywhere. You can always stay informed with timely alerts and receive notifications, like if a tank is empty or if something's offline, it will say it's not working correctly. Those are some of the notifications that I've received, but mostly that a water tank has been used up was the main one that I always got. And then it also allows you to monitor the water consumption that your cat or dog, or cats and dog, are consuming out of the fountain. Thank you for watching our final review video for the LALAHOME RealFountain. I'm a big fan of this fountain. Unfortunately, and unrelated to the fountain, my cat Trig died unexpectedly during this review process. However, he didn't have kidney disease and he was raw fed, so he wouldn't have had the thirst drive to drink from the fountain, but that's why there isn't much footage of him around the fountain. Whereas Charlie with kidney disease is gonna have the thirst drive, and any cat that is dry fed or has diabetes or other reasons to have a thirst drive are gonna be easier to film, for example, because they're gonna be drinking out of the fountain because of that thirst drive. So I'm glad that Charlie is still around to show you guys the benefits of this fountain, and I am going to continue to use it with him, so more than likely you'll see more of it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.